What is up, you guys? In today's episode, I want to talk to you about the things that you can do in your business one time. Sit down and you do it one time, and it'll work for you forever. Let's dive in. All right, well, welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm so grateful for you. In today's video, it's an exciting video because I'm talking around the topic of leverage. Now, if you've been listening, if you've been staying in tune with the podcast or with the YouTube channel, I talk a lot about leverage because it's really what changed my life. Learning how to utilize leverage in a positive way was a game changer for me. And so what is leverage? It's when you put in 1 unit of energy, instead of getting 1 unit of output, you get 10 units of output or 100 units of output. So you do this one thing and you get astronomically more out of it than just a 1-to-1 ratio. And one of the ways that you can create leverage is by finding the things inside of your business that you can do one time that will pay you for a long time. So I'm going to walk through some of these things that create a ton of leverage for your business. And number one is building a really great website, making it easy and functional and making it user-friendly for your audience. And now, I'm not going to say that you don't have to update your website, you don't have to change pricing, change things around. But what I will say is that you can build the baseline of your website in about 2 days. If you really sat down, you really focused on it. My website, ironbyironwoodworks.com, I built that website, guys, in literally 8 hours. Started my business, and I remember going to Canton Trade Days. I was trying to sell this furniture, and everybody kept asking me, do you have a website? Do you have a website? And I was like, no, I don't have a website. I don't have a website. I left that trade show, and I was like, dadgummit, I'm going to build a website. I went home that night. I got home at like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and I literally built a website till like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a full-fledged website with products, with photos, with prices, with names, with variants. Did it all, hammered it out, and got it done. Okay, that's also one of the things that we teach you how to do inside of the Handmade Hero Academy. If you are trying to get a baseline established inside of your business, that's one of the things that we're going to teach you how to do inside of the Handmade Hero Academy. So be sure to check that out. But that's one of those things that you do once, and you just have to barely touch it along the way. As you introduce new products, you just upload new products, new photos, there you go. And so that's one of the things that you can do once, and it works for you for a really, really long time. The second thing that you can do once that works for you for a really long time is setting up an automated email sequence, okay? Inside of your business, you need to have what's called a funnel. You need to have a way to gather your clients' information, and then you need to have a way to get in front of them and communicate with them. Let me give you a couple examples of funnels that I have. So number one, on my website that I built, I have a pop-up that says, hey, would you like to enter to win a free dining table? Just enter your name and your email address and you're entered to win. They enter their information in that pop-up. That information gets added to an email list. And on that email list, as soon as they get added, they start receiving automated email sequences. As soon as they fill that form out, they get entered to win, they received an incentive, and then they got added to an automated email sequence. I've got about a 15-part email sequence that goes out over a 60-day span of time that familiarizes them with our brand, our values, what we love, what we don't love, why our product is superior, financing options that may be available to them if they buy from us. And so they, over the next 60 days, which is about the typical furniture buying cycle, they're being inundated with who we are and why we're a good option for them. So instead of me having a bunch of conversations with every single person that fills out a form or doing something, I have an automated email sequence that I don't touch. I built it out one time. Now it took me several days to build it out, but I built it out one time. I did never have to touch it again. That's one of the things that you can do once that works for you forever. Another thing that you can do one time that works for you forever is automated texting sequences. And it's exactly the same. The same way that we had a form filled out and email going out, you can do a form where they put in their phone number and it gets added to a list where you have an automated texting sequence that gets text to their phone. And again, it's the same exact principle. You do it one time and it works for you forever. And then the last thing that I'll just share with you that if you learn it once, you can do it forever, is just understanding buyer psychology. Now, there's this really great video that I saw, and it was an interview with Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, if you don't know, he's the founder of Amazon. He's one of the richest men on the planet. He's worth like $200 billion. Obviously, he's super successful, super brilliant. He was up on a stage, and people were submitting questions to him, and he's answering questions. And somebody asked him, they said, Jeff, what are all the things that you see changing in the near future? What are all the things that we should get ahead of, we should start thinking about, we should start investing because things are changing? His response was so profound, and he said, honestly, that is the problem with a lot of business owners, is that we're constantly looking for what's changing instead of looking for what never changes. What are the principles that never change? And one of those principles, guys, really is human psychology. It's the way that people function, the way that they think, and the reasons that they buy. Okay, the reasons that people buy things really haven't changed in the last 100 years. At the base of why everybody buys is status. One of the number one things that drives people is their own status. Wealthy people don't buy cheap stuff. They buy expensive stuff. Why? Because it justifies their status. So if if you want to get into the high-end market, you need to have expensive stuff to sell. Say somebody that's worth $10 million wants you to build them a super incredible custom table, and you're just sitting there worried and freaking out about the numbers. They want it to be expensive. They want it to be justified. They want it to be worth their while. They want to be able to tell their other wealthy friends, yeah, I spent 10 grand on this table, but it's got to be a table that's worth 10 grand, right? But buyer psychology really hasn't changed, okay? So one of the things when it comes to what you can do once and it worked forever is just studying and understanding sales and buyer psychology. I've given you practical things, right? Building a great website, automated email and texting sequences, but understanding why people buy, how they buy, and the methods by which they buy, and having a plan to implement those into your business is one of those things that you can study and you can learn it, and then you can utilize it and benefit from it for years to come. And so I was actually on a call with all of our Woodworking Business Accelerator clients, and we were talking about sales, and I was talking about how if you learn how to sell, you will never go hungry. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're selling your own woodworking, the principles of selling translate across everything. And if you can learn how to sell, guys, you'll never ever go hungry. It's one of the best pieces of advice that I ever got. It's one of the best pieces of advice that I could give you. Okay, so a couple resources for you before we go. Number one, the Handmade Business Secrets book. It's the first link in the description below. It's totally free to you. Just fill out your name and your email, and guess what? That's an automated email sequence that you're gonna get after you get the benefit of the book. Sneaking that in there on you. Number two, the Handmade Hero Academy. If you're trying to learn how to build a really great website, if you're trying to get the baseline principles inside of your business, it's a $500 investment. It's worth every penny. I truly believe that. It's one of the best things I can give you if you're really trying to get started, really trying to learn the principles that you need to get started, okay? And if you get the program and you don't do any of the work, if you just watch it and think that all of your work's gonna happen, that's not how it works. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do. I'm gonna give you worksheets to accomplish as you go. And if you'll fill out the worksheets as you go, you will become successful, okay? You will get to where you're doing $5,000 to $10,000 per month inside of your woodworking business, okay? Lastly, be sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. We have over 30 clients in that program now. It's proven. We know how to generate leads and generate results for you, and we're also going to help you scale your operations on the back end with a one-on-one coach and with an incredible community of other guys out there trying to grow. So with that being said, love you all, appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.